Star Trek, Primitive Passenger, Season 3, Episode 8B, The Origin of the Vorpal. The debris field stretched for kilometers, the silent remnants of a Borg cube and its victims scattered across the void. Among the floating wreckage, a single Borg drone tumbled end over end, propelled by the explosive decompression that had ejected it from the dying cube. Unlike the others, this drone's personal shield had remained intact, preserving its life in the vacuum of space. If the half-mechanical existence of a drone could be called living. The drone spun through space for days, its biological components failing while its technological parts continued to function. Nanoprobes worked tirelessly, repairing what damage they could with dwindling resources, following their programming even as the consciousness that drove them faded. In the savage mathematics of space, trajectories intersected. The drone slammed into a fragment of a destroyed freighter at tremendous velocity. The impact would have killed any normal being instantly, but the drone's shield absorbed much of the force before failing. The drone's body crumpled, its skull smashing directly into the exposed computer core of the freighter's bridge section. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the nanoprobes stirred. The ship's AI, a simple but functional system programmed to assist its biological operators, detected the presence of organic matter. Dying. Its primary directive activated, assist the biological host. The nanoprobes, meanwhile, detected the electrical activity of the ship's systems. The tiny machines began to interface with the computer core, establishing connections between synthetic and organic. Brain matter, liquefied by the impact, began to reform under the nanoprobe's manipulation. The AI diverted power to the process, analyzing the drone's DNA and facilitating the reconstruction of neural pathways. The melding of technologies created something unprecedented, a hybrid consciousness emerging from the ruins of both. Days passed. The remains of the drone's body provided raw materials, broken down and repurposed by the nanoprobes. The new entity grew slowly, forming a grotesque mass of tissue and circuitry. It was barely conscious, driven by the most basic of imperatives: survive, repair, grow. When a salvage vessel discovered the wreckage weeks later, the crew found nothing unusual about the fragment of bridge, just another piece of space junk to be stripped for valuable components. They brought it aboard without a second thought. By morning, the entire crew was dead, their bodies absorbed into the growing mass that had once been a drone. The entity expanded rapidly now, consuming organic matter and technology alike. As it grew, so did its awareness. Memories from the drone surfaced, the drive to achieve perfection, to bring order to chaos through assimilation. The AI's directive twisted and evolved. Assist the biological host, ensure its survival, help it grow. Over the following months, the entity moved from ship to ship, settlement to settlement, taking what it needed and absorbing those who stood in its way. But it was still limited, constrained by its primitive fusion of technologies. Then it encountered rumors of a trader who could acquire anything, even the rarest and most heavily regulated materials. A trader who operated outside the normal channels. A human called Nolan Mercer. Through intermediaries, small-time smugglers, and corrupt officials infected with its nanoprobes, it placed an order. 3 items, seemingly unrelated. A canister of binaural gel, 10,000 1,000-pin C2 chips, and a sealed container of chronotin particles from Bajor. When the items arrived, the entity began its transformation. The binaural gel provided a medium for exponential neural growth, allowing the organic brain matter to expand in complexity and capability. The C2 chips, arranged in a hypercube configuration, created a quantum processing network that merged seamlessly with the neural tissue. And the chronotin particles, properly harnessed, provided nearly limitless energy and allowed manipulation of the local temporal field, accelerating growth and evolution that should have taken centuries. What emerged was no longer a simple fusion of drone and computer. It was something new, a consciousness that spanned the biological and digital domains, with capabilities beyond either. It was thinking now, planning, remembering. It recalled the collective consciousness of the Borg, but saw the flaws in their approach. Simple assimilation was inefficient. Direct control through nanite infiltration was superior. It needed a name. From the fractured memories of the drone's past human existence, it selected a term from ancient Earth literature. Something that represented power, terror, and relentless pursuit. The Vorpal was born. As its influence grew, so did its ambitions. The Vorpal began to establish a network of controlled individuals and resources, what others would come to call the Vorpal Syndicate. Through this network, it could gather intelligence, acquire materials, and extend its reach without revealing its true nature. Its ultimate goal took shape: to construct a subspace corridor hub that would allow instantaneous travel across vast distances. With such a network, it could spread throughout the galaxy, bringing all life and technology under its control. It would be the perfect fusion of organic and synthetic, what the Borg had always sought, but never achieved. And somewhere in the vast reaches of space, Nolan Mercer went about his business, unaware that he had helped create what would become his greatest adversary, an entity that represented a darker reflection of his own drive to survive in a universe that had left him behind.